Hey, welcome back. Today I have a digital Inktober video for you. This is something you don't hear me say very often, and I haven't been doing a lot of digital art. So I really wanted to do just an Inktober digital drawing, and I just pictured this cute witch, sort of Halloween themey, but mostly just cute witch. And I wanted it to be a very expressive pose, so she wasn't like just standing there like some of I feel like one of my go-to poses is someone just standing there with one hand on the hip and one hand just sort of like dangling. And I did not want to do that again because it just bugs me. I realize I'm doing it, but it just happens anyway, and I'm like, no! But so this one I thought would be really cute if she was sort of floating there and leaning on her broom, like to hold her up, and then in the other hand she was holding a wand. She could create some magical spells, and I also really wanted to incorporate a cat into this picture, and I don't draw a lot of animals in general, so it was a little bit difficult, and I had to pull up some references and just try to figure out what a cat looked like. I mean, because you know what a cat looks like. You can picture a cat, but they have all these joints and whiskers and just the shape of a cat. No matter what you think a cat looks like, you might not get it right, especially if you haven't drawn them a lot, so you have to look up those references. So I really wanted it just sitting on her arm, so it's sort of flying too, but it's not really comfortable with the whole, whoa, we're not really on the ground thing, so it's really clomped onto her arm, and I thought that was kind of cute, and I liked the way that turned out. And they actually pulled that one leg up more because I wanted it to be a lot more expressive. She still was looking a little flat, so I just, with the warp tool, grabbed her leg, and then I pulled it up, and when I'm using the warp tool, I just sort of like smudged it, so it just looked like it was a little bit more pointing towards us instead of just going straight down. And once that I had a sketch that I liked, I went in and started inking it, which is what Inktober is about. But one thing I really tried to do with this picture is to not just do the same thing I always do, like I've been saying, but you'll notice like one of the arms is extremely foreshortened where she's holding onto the broom, and I just didn't want everything to just look 2D, if that makes any sense. I wanted everything to feel three-dimensional and sort of like alive and real. So when you take a picture of someone, the chances that they're just going to be straight onto the camera is very slim. So why should your art always be straight onto a person? So that's why I tried to like foreshorten the arm. I foreshortened the leg. The back arm is actually kind of foreshortened where she's holding onto the wand. It's not as extreme as the one where she's holding the broom, but again, it's still there. And I feel like it just helps your art feel a little bit, more alive, and like you're drawing a subject who could be real. And also, I don't remember where I was going with this. My brain is all over the place. Okay, so basically, the reason I'm trying to be so expressive in the actual art of it is because I knew I was doing a bit of an Inktober, where I'm only probably going to use one color and ink it. So I'm going to use shades, well, not really shades, but either black or not black. And in this case, it actually ended up being purple and not purple, but still, I knew that the coloring, there wasn't going to be any coloring. There was just going to be tones. So I was going to, like I did her dress black so that it contrasts with the belt, which ended up being, it's white, but it's actually like the lack of color, but still, I don't know. I can't even think straight. I don't know what's going on with me. But basically, yeah, I tried to be very expressive with the art because I knew that there wouldn't be any color or anything else to like liven up the piece. It was just going to be black and white, or in this case, purple and white. But that's the point anyway. Oh no, I just realized what's going on screen. This is like the most cringiest part. Okay, so this is where I made the biggest mistake of this entire drawing. So basically I drew the cat so I inked in the cat, but I realized I wanted the cat to be a black cat. But I'd already drawn the ink, which was, the tone of the picture. So I basically had to go in and fill him all in black and then redraw all the ink white. First, I did a couple things with that. I did a second layer. That way I didn't have to actually draw over the inking so that it would still be there if I were to make a mistake. So I made a second layer, filled in the cat black or purple. If I say black, I mean the purple, okay? And then I just, in some spots I went back to the first layer that had the ink on it and lock transparent pixels and then colored it in white. And then in other spots I had to redraw it completely where it wasn't working right. So that's where it was. It was a bit of a time consuming because I had to figure out what I was doing because I had like a little I don't know. I just didn't know what I was doing there for a minute. But I really wanted the cat to look like it was like grabbing onto her arm, and I'm not sure I accomplished that because I wanted it to be like, whoa, we're flying, but you know, things happen. All that tells me is that I need to practice drawing cats. And basically all I did after that was just throw on some yellow behind it just to contrast with the purple, and I had a finished illustration. Afterwards, after I had turned off the filming, I actually added a little bit of shading just to try and pull some different colors. But that's about it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw this witch, and I will see you guys all next week in a brand new video. Have a delicious evening for the waffles. Bye!